Welcome, cartel members. Let's dive right on into this episode. Make no mistake, this is a cult. This is a widespread cult that is worldwide, and it's fucking bad, guys. Isaac Kappy. Now, we're going to talk a lot about the Keystone IO website and this mysterious drop or post that Isaac Kappy put out. Now, if you can find the original, I implore you to email it to me at ALLAMERICANCARTELLC@gmail.com. Check the description below for all links. But if you can find the original, maybe on Instagram you posted it, but I can't. This is the best I could do. And I'm the Theorizing Theorist. I'm the Capitan of an All-American cartel, and I can dig like a motherfucker. And I didn't dig that hard because I was kind of busy, but I did dig, and I could not fucking for the life of me find the OG version of this. So please, if you could find the OG version of this, contact me. And speaking of OG, I wanted to also offer an olive branch to OG Juan Kenobi if he wants to join the Kappy'S cartel. And I also wanted to invite a special person, special to dear to my heart, Clown Sex Sucks or something to that effect. I can't say the name right. But he actually helped me out with Enemy of the Cartel, and I couldn't be more appreciative. So there he is, Clown Sex Sucks. Go look for him on YouTube. I'll be sure to find a link for him. But anyway, he goes to Steve Outram and Wyatt Earp of QAnon and 35 others. LOL, there were no files in Keybase, I know. I sat up for 4 days getting it running. At Brett Trimble was the first assistant admin. And that was on July 11th, 2019 at 10:43 a.m. Now, Steve Outram is a good friend. He actually, I think, created PayPal. Go look him up. He's quite a character. And he's quite the patriot or quite the truth seeker, let's just say. I like him. Why spend 4 days on something only for it to be empty? Now, I say I like him because I haven't really heard much of him lately, but I liked him last week spoke. So let's dive into this next part here. So back, not the next part, but back to this thread. We're going to be going over the Keybase stuff, the IO Keybase. I need some of my more technical people to go over there and try to figure out how to see, just to see what's over there. Dig, play around, see what's up. I'm going to show you a video. I guess Majestic 12 just started speaking on Keybase, and it's big news, I guess, over there. I've never even heard of that stuff. I know who Majestic 12 is. So let's take a listen to what this guy has to say about Keybase and what Majestic 12 had to say about Donald Trump and the recent events.
Guys, Majestic 12 just did an AMA on Keybase, and I'm going to cover it in this video. It was totally unexpected. Like, this is just a few minutes after they finished answering questions, and they answered a whole ton of questions, like freaking 50 or something like that. And we'll go through them all, and I'll comment on the things as I go along. So basically, almost no one posts in the ISB section of their channel. Just a few people, like I just said, something big is coming today, TikTok. And then like an hour later, they said AMA, and somehow people were alerted, like, you know, they saw that and they started asking questions. Is this the storm, or are we on too much hopium? This is the storm, so it is a storm. What happened to Phoenix Vault? Death threats and financial collapse forced Andre, the creator and former typist, to shut it down for his family's protection. So he'd never mentioned the death threats on his channel, but Majestic 12 was saying that's what happened. He has mentioned trying to bring it back, but that doesn't seem viable unless he gets enough financial support. But basically, clowns were trying to shut it down, and it's currently offline. Has Trump enacted the Insurrection Act? No. So there's a lot of rumors about that online, but it doesn't seem to be much basis for it. So it's like there hasn't been any confirmation of it, like, actually happening. Where have you been? What's next? What is the probability the plan is still intact? Information is going to be coming out in the coming weeks. You were prepared for this, so it's going to happen. Stuff's still happening, but not in the way that we might expect, because you'll see some of these other questions and answers. Were computer equipment seized during the DC riots by US Special Forces? Disinformation. If Special Forces are under the control of the NSA, then why would they need to physically apprehend the machines? Hint, they didn't. So that's kind of like, you know, NSA already has that data, so they don't need to get the laptops. That's why, again, like, more disinformation from weird sources online. But this is a bigger one, though. Will Trump remain president? Trump's presidency will come to an end. So this answer and some of their other answers, it wasn't clear how the presidency would continue after the end of this term, because it seems like maybe Trump will only run one single term, and then maybe the military will take over and do military tribunals, because in some other questions they say that the Biden presidency won't last long. But let's just keep going. Pence, is he now a doppelganger in action? Pence played a role. Where have you been? What's next? What is the probability the plan is still intact? Which is the same question, but they answer it a different way. MJ12 stopped channeling to the former typist because he was compromised. So they're implying like there's an actual MJ12 member behind the Keybase account, which I wasn't sure about before. I thought it was a typist himself, Patriot Phoenix. Now he's calling himself a Raven. You can see it in my link section in my videos. So the whole deal with that was that he got involved with Austin Steinbart, and to expose Austin Steinbart, he had to reveal his identity, which kind of brought down Majestic 12's account, because everyone started just like thinking it was fake and accusing the typist of stuff when, you know, they always emphasize message over messenger, and unfortunately it was never meant to happen that way. And basically because of Austin and the typist's involvement with believing in Austin that he was real and legit. And even my videos I covered Austin, but as I said, I'm just leaving the videos up. You know, I covered him too much and it was a mistake, but I'm not going to take the videos down. Anyway, will Biden-Harris presidency run the full term? No. So that's another thing. Like, they say it's even shorter later on. They say a few days. Will you, the current types, return to Telegram? Insecure platform, alas. So, I made that group. They're saying it's insecure, but I saw on 8kun just today that the Telegram servers are hosted on Amazon and by Amazon and Google, so that's not good because they could get deplatformed. So, but the group that I made got quite a few followers in the last few days. So if you're interested, just see the link section in my video. Is 8kun down intentionally? Service interruptions out of the operator's immediate control resulted in localized service interruptions. So when I did that post the other day in my last video, it took me like multiple attempts. I couldn't actually do the post. Probably took me 5 or 6 tries on, and I used 3 different internet browsers and I couldn't do it. But then that was more to do with the captcha, that like I had to solve it again, which was a pain, but I hadn't posted in a while. But I had some issues with posting there. I don't know if it was the same as what they're talking about. Will Trump become president again in the future? A Trump will become president. So is that Donald Trump Jr.? I mean, who else is it? If it's not Trump POTUS 45, I can fully understand that. As far-fetched as it seemed, because we always thought Trump would run 2 terms, but then now maybe his deal was to just run 1 single term, and then the military would have enough evidence of crimes to arrest everyone, and he wouldn't need to run the 2nd term where like the tribunals and first contact supposed to take place and disclosure. But that's like the big question mark. And they say here, will Biden be inaugurated? Yes, but later on they say just for a few days. So I don't know what it means, guys. I don't know, like there's something about the military getting involved that I couldn't figure out. Was there USA military vessels on the move in the USA east and west coasts and near Japan? Yes, new Chinese Communist Party military activity seeks to destabilize relations with North Korea. So there's some rumors of like this brief war with China and America. And like even I think David Wilcock's talk about that. So I watched a bit of David Wilcock recently. Interesting perspective. With the coming declass of UFO and aliens bring us closer to the astral information I and many others are looking for, will more information be released to us about Law of One and Harvest. The Harvest is also known as the Great Reset, which is also known as a mass depopulation event. So, in the Harvest is supposed to be like aliens moving Earth beings to other planets or something like that. But they're saying it's something negative rather than what's presented in the Law of One. That's my understanding, comparing it to the depopulation, but I don't know if that involves death or not. Don't think so. Is this all disinformation due to incoming celestial bodies? Disinformation comes from a lack of context and conscious conjecture. So maybe the sources are just not like logically thinking out what they are presenting, their intel. So yeah, I have seen a lot of disinformation in the last few weeks. I generally just don't cover it on my channel. I try to just cover like what I think is real, even though maybe not all of it is. But will Trump declass before leaving office? No, it's not enough time anyway. It's just a week. Biden's still a deep state actor. Yes, so we know that. Are we ready for a positive harvest or negative with all the information that has come out recently? At the time of your harvest, end of this life, you will choose to accept atonement or reject it. So, they were asking about harvest, which is like not at death time, but then Majestic 12 answered it when we die, which is a bit of a different different reply than they were probably expecting. They were talking about one harvest, I think. Who will declass Owl? Who indeed? No secret is revealed, so they're not saying like who's going to be in charge. That's like the big question mark that I have. I'll try to figure it out as we go along, but you know, that's like the hard part of this AMA for me. Which alien race will we learn about in the coming months? Humans from other planets, originally from Earth? I guess that's not too extreme. Are the electricity blackouts in Pakistan and the Vatican indication of some behind-the-scenes activity happening? Space Force localized EMP weapons being used to take out critical infrastructure. And I don't know if that's related to arrests or not, but there's some rumors of that I'm not sure about. I read them. Palladians, no. Ra and Horus, no. Trump said that 2021 was going to be tremendous. Do you think so too? Disclosure will officially take place. Yep. So that's, you know, I do believe after arrests, or, you know, along with arrests. But who's going to do it? We don't know. We literally don't know. Will they come back to Earth, or will we have the chance to meet or interact with them? Plans will be made to formalize relations and trade. Is the event known as the Grand Solar Flash, or the event part of the upcoming series of events? Solar Flash is a metaphorical disinformation for the Great Reset. It's supposed to be like the Cabal version. The Great Awakening, generally speaking. Do you think Biden's term in office will be short-lived days? So that's what I was talking about. They're basically saying that Trump won't run another term, but then they're also saying that Biden won't be in office for more than a few days. But then what's going to happen? Like, will there be a president? But they have made a lot of posts saying that Trump is the last president. So if it ends at 45, who's going to take over? Like, because there is a presidential line of succession, but that's not what I mean. If there's martial law, then, you know, maybe Trump can like declare martial law on his way out or something weird like that. And then the military takes over, and one of the generals basically kind of like assumes not the presidency, but control of the country. And then they dissolve like the political system because it's corrupt and ineffective when they talk about the political system more. But I enjoyed your movies that I know so far. Can you name some more for me? Every Hollywood produced work went through the working group at the Pentagon. So working group's another name for Majestic 12. What percentage of the population are now awake? Over 155 million Americans and around 1 billion worldwide are fully aware of major conspiracies in their relation with one another. So that's like, you know, almost half of America and a large portion of the Earth's population. Does MJ12 see Earth humans as equals rather than pawns in a game? MJ12 was let down by humans in 2020 that compromised one of our operations. So that's probably referring to the typist, Patriot Phoenix, aka a Raven, aka Andre. So Michael Trim, but you know, that's also Austin. They're all human and they make mistakes. So it's kind of unfortunate, but I don't know how much they would have posted on Twitter. You know, they would have probably got taken down anyway. Like now, everyone got, you know, I lost my account, but I ask a question about Kappy'S soon. Robert Kennedy gave the sign by touching his nose, signaling, Junior is still with us. Can you confirm? Hopium overdose. Are the U.S. military tribunals still ongoing? Haven't started. So, you know, like I said, there's a lot of disinformation about how that's, you know, already happening, but they're saying it hasn't. Jassara, Nessara, any chance of that happening? None. So it kind of surprised a few people, but we'll see what happens. Will COVID be exposed as a hoax in the next series of events? No. So they're just going to say it was, you know, not question it and just deal with the rest of what happens rather than go backwards, you know, try to deal with the virus when there's bigger things happening, like arrest disclosure, preparing for first contact. Who is Vincent Fusca? White hat, personal friend of POTUS, white hat. Will this be the last Republican/Democrat president? Yes, and that's unclear whether they're talking about Trump or Biden, but like they're kind of implying the presidency is just going to end, but like we'll go further into it. Seems to be answering this question. Will the current role/office of president still exist in the future? They said United States has a few years left. This experiment has expired. So there's like, you know, was it 200 to 300 years of this American political system? They're saying it basically failed, which probably is the case considering the corruption that took over the country and took over the government. Will the current role/office of president still exist in the future? And they say no. So that's kind of what I was saying. I was like, man, is this the end of the presidency? But then what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks, right? Oh man, like I'm just, you know, guys, my mind was completely blown by this AMA, but like I'm just covering it, you know, this is like their AMA and I'm just like a reporter basically, kind of like, this is not my information, but I'm commenting on it. And I know most people don't have Keybase, which is like more of a reason to do this video because there's only like 600 people in this group. Will replicators and time travel be available in my lifetime? No. So in the past they said that replicators would be available like within like, a few years or something, a decade or something like that. Time travel, no, okay, that's a bit extreme time travel. People shouldn't be time traveling, like it's just not a good idea. Does Coretta Scott King have potential to be POTUS candidate in the future? No. Will any of us be able to work for your organization in the future? No, MJ12 will be dissolved when Killbox USA occurs. The domain will, though, take new associates. So that's huge. Like, they're saying, like, America's just going to go down in the tribunal. It's not like the whole country, but, like, when mass arrests happen and eventually, like, Majestic 12 will be dissolved, like, the domain will take over, which is, like, this, it's not the real name, but, like, this higher kind of, like, civilization, basically, elsewhere in the universe. And that was big. Like, something's happening, man. Like, something like the presidency is going to end, like American political system's going to change. Is the military going to take over? I asked a question, but I phrased it badly, guys. I tried to ask a relevant question down, which I'll come to. Will the truth of Seth Rich come to light at all? Patrick Byrne has stated that Rod Rosenstein ordered the botched robbery that resulted in MS-13 killing Rich in a fight for the USB drive he was carrying. Okay, so that's different to what we've seen before. Even Q said that, he had a hit ordered on him by Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And here they're saying they just tried to get the USB drive off him and they messed up, ended up killing him. So that's way different to the story that Q was telling. One World Order, Second Amendment. Second Amendment will end soon. That's supposed to be relating to First Contact, where they need to get rid of the guns, I think. Not one. Nuclear World Order. So that's what the Cabal NWO is supposed to mean. Nuclear, not new. And then there's like this other New World Order, which is like the good one that Trump's supposed to be starting. So it kind of has two different meanings depending, like, you're talking about Cabal or Alliance. Will there be much bloodshed/deaths in the upcoming declass and subsequent events? War is imminent, but it is an information war. Physical harm is not in danger. When your harvest time comes, you don't be given notice, and preparations are moot, so no and no. So yeah, I mean, it's like not much we can do apparently, but we're sort of safe, I guess. Internet blackout coming soon or too early in this stage? Yes, so that's, my plan is to just keep making videos, and then I might have trouble putting them online, but I'll put them online even if they're delayed. So that makes sense. And I'll just say when the date of when they were recorded was. And then I asked, how should we prepare for the next week? Nothing to prepare for. Unless friends and family come to you asking questions, respond with compassion. They're very young. Do not do as they are told. Which I think that's a reference to one of their, I think they said that in Twitter. I don't know how good my question was, guys. Like, maybe nothing's going to happen in the next week, which is a dumb question. Maybe I should have said 2 weeks, but maybe it's out of our control. But maybe it's too soon this next week for anything to actually happen, or only happen like after the inauguration or something. I'm not sure. I know you don't work in his office, but Q is done posting. Will there be any more drops? Q finished posting early 2020, which is a weird one because like Q is still posting late 2020, end of 2020. In December, I think, was the last post. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean, like, the last year of 2020 in their posts, if they were legit or something. I asked a few more questions. I tried to come up with some good questions. It's hard though. Death of petrodollar, digital currencies with gold. Bitcoin is only high right now because drug/human traffickers use it and they anticipate Biden winning. So Bitcoin was like at a record high. It's like it's some crazy amount, much past the previous high. And so it's been spiking. And it's weird they say they anticipate Biden winning. So didn't he already win fakely? There's big question marks about like what's going to happen with Biden. Will the 13 bloodlines still be in control after all is said and done? They will leave Earth and go to one of their other planets. Most of them don't spend every day on Earth, which is a weird one, sort of like getting out of prosecution from the military tribunals, maybe. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Are you familiar with Happy Science spiritual movement out of Japan? Founded by Ryoho Okawa, more channels of global consciousness. I'm not familiar with that. Can't really say anything. What type of celestial activity is involved with the Great Reset? EMP. Is Donald Trump going to use the military and arrest these criminals to stop these atrocities, or is he going to simply leave office? DJT will leave office, so that's what I don't understand. Is like what's going to happen next? The transition, basically. What's he going to do at the end of his term? Like, he's going to hand it over. So I asked, will the US military take full control of the country? And they said no. So I probably shouldn't have said full. I should have just said take control. I don't know. There's a lot of questions. Like some of the answers are really good, but then there's even more questions, like kind of like unknown, where they're saying stuff that we've never heard before, like through other sources about the end of the presidency, the end of the American political system, basically. Will hidden/secret technologies start to be released? Yes, summertime, new discoveries will be made. Once disclosure happens, physics will be corrected, a new technology will follow. So they linked summertime to this disclosure, which it's not necessarily the same time frame, but the way that they answered it, they were kind of implying that disclosure is very soon. And they said earlier, like 2021, EMP, natural, e.g. solar or man-made. Man-made. Was the power of 3, 6, and 9 real in the case of DC riot since it occurred on January 6, which is number 6? 3, 6, 9 can be used to manifest consciousness. January 6 failed as a false flag because too many peaceful demonstrators projected their will and it foiled Antifa's plans. Yep. Will there be another election? Yes. Again, not sure what that means. Anti-gravity UFO. Yes. Man-made US only, portion only. Just make sure I'm not working lol. There's no amount of preparation that can be made, so accept it like Schrodinger. Yeah, so there's only so much we can do to get ready. Will there be a need for physical aviation airlines for travel, or will that industry recover? Travel will be replaced with new technology. I'm not sure what that is. Will financial markets collapse and be replaced? Collapse, yes. Replace, no. So kind of hinting at new financial system, but I don't know what it will be. Honestly, Stargate/portal travel imminent within the next decade, so it's pretty soon. Will we gain the knowledge of faster than light travel within the next decade? That's again pretty soon. Doesn't necessarily mean that we'll do it, ourselves, civilians. Age regression tech within 5 years, no. So normally there are answer questions about time, but then they are here. Time-related ones. Through consciousness or wormholes, artificial wormholes, I'm not sure that's referring to time travel. Will healing/medical technology be released within the next decade? Will we be able to better learn how to connect to our ISB? Pineal gland healing. Unlimited information exists within. Ask and you shall learn. So they've talked a lot about that on their Twitter. You can read the archives of what they said. Who or what is actually in control of our planet? A group of less than 1,000 people coordinate perceived control. It is artificial and requires you to comply. So that's quite a few people actually, if it's just 1,000. In your book, I think, version 1, Majestic Message of the Disclosure, you stated there is a recipe for proper amounts of CBD for pineal gland repair. Can you be more specific on amounts? 1-to-1 ratio of CBD, THC, CBG. So I haven't actually heard of that third one, but yeah, it's a technical answer there. Is Mars projected to be an industrialized world? Already is. My question here, Q team about to go public, they say no. So I just I don't know, man. I tried to ask some good questions. Maybe they're just gonna, I don't know if they're gonna keep posting, presumably stay private. I don't know. I tried my best. Was the DC riot planned in advance by Deep State? Yes. Homo sapiens or off-world people, transhumans. So sorry, that's referring to another question previously. I'm not going to go back. Are the group of 1,000, the people controlling the world, based/coordinated from Israel? No, Israel was the location to deposit a slave colony. Nothing special or unique about Israel aside from its physical location and its quantum energy. The nation state was built on lies. Will the main religions exist after declass? No, because they're just talking about aliens' existence in the universe, and religions don't believe in that. Does the Vatican archives hold all of this information? What are they protecting? Non-human intelligent life that traded knowledge with humans in exchange for sacrifices. What is in Antarctica? Hollow Earth? Yes. Was the bombing in Nashville about disrupting NSA comms? Directed energy weapon, not bomb, which that's news to me. Will declass be televised or beamed directly into our minds? Probably not. They say TV, so it'll be on TV. Will the solar system planets be same/changed after these events? Yes. What is meant when Q states 46% lost forever? Annual harvest of people on Earth, 46% of 7 billion people. So that could be the children, or just, I thought it meant brainwash people, but then, maybe Q was doing this double meaning to people getting sacrificed, basically. Seems to be what they're talking about. Hello, we've been missing you. Has Switzerland become a target now through financial manipulation, accusation, and skeletal rights? Switzerland has been the facilitator of the global cabal's financial games. Food, slavery, other, everything. Consumed for energy, there's 46% lost forever. Time travel tech available soon, no. So it's yeah, not for people. So I did this screenshot checking how many members there were in the group, and there's 639. And I said, 639 members right now. And they replied, that is why we have temporarily returned. It's interesting. Was it the deep state that fired the directed energy weapon? Yes. And then I asked, will you continue to post on Keybase, or, and then they said MJ12 will return periodically, so that's good because I kind of wanted to know whether they'd keep posting here or not, or other platforms. But yeah, again, my question's simple. Draco, Reptilians, Anunnaki, Archons, all same terms. Do you think NSA already has data on what was on Pelosi's laptop computer? Lack of jurisdictional authority under current law, so I guess military law needs to be enacted for NSA to be able to use that data. When the harvest comes, will we graduate to the fourth density, or do you see repeat coming? Some will ascend, many will recycle. Just talking about reincarnation, I think, on Earth. Pretty sure. What are the chances that I've been in contact with the sixth density being? 100%. So any pointers on how to escape Earth's reincarnation cycle, ascend before death? So they talk about it in the archives, guys, like some of these things. Do they know they are sixth density, or are they on cycles like we are trying to obtain higher consciousness? They are aware of their dimensionality. I'm totally lost on all this. What about someone who died yesterday, recycled? So just reincarnation, I think. Will nation states still exist after these events? NWO will dissolve nation states. So I think that's referring to the good one, like the New World Order, where there's going to be political changes around the world relating to world leaders and how things are conducted around the time of first contact, I kind of assume. I thought NWO were going to be stopped by white hats in military, change leadership. So just talking about the double meaning. Which New World Order are you talking about? Are you talking about the Nuclear World Order or the New World Order? As I said, are there spiritual mechanisms in play to prevent those who recently died that committed crimes against humanity from returning and reoffending? Offenders return and reoffend, so just, again, reincarnation, they just come back on Earth. How do we ascend before death? When the spirit is free and the mind is enlightened, the body matters not. Ascension happens when you want to leave everything. Maxwell case, first domino to expose public to Israel/Khazarians, no. Who will be exposed through D-Class first? Exposing that information prematurely would compromise ongoing operations. So some of the really sensitive questions, they don't really answer properly, like maybe there's some disinformation, but they weren't revealing like certain things that like I was interested in, like what's going to happen next in the plan the next 1 or 2 weeks specifically. I don't know. So that's the end of the AMA, guys. Like, this video got longer than I was wanting it to, but some of the questions and answers were really good, and then like other things were so dramatic and like mind-blowing that, I guess to summarize it is like they kind of saying that Trump's not going to run a second term, and yet at the same time that his presidency would only last a few days, but then it wasn't clear how the military would get involved if that's going to be the case, which it did seem to be the case, which is what else, and that there'd be like tribunals and the cessation of the current political system in America pretty much permanently when arrests happen, and because the political system won't be functioning if all those people get arrested. But then is that too drastic? Like, will there be kind of like a middle ground? I don't know, guys. Like, I don't have the answers. I hope you like this video. It's hard to make, like, just going through this, like, really hard to kind of comment on. Like, I don't have the answers. I thought you'd want to know, like, what they said. I don't know how much it helps. Like, they said like other sources on the internet were giving it a lot of disinformation, like unreliable intel. I thought this was better than most of what I've seen for the past few weeks, but just post your comments in the comment section, guys. Tell me what you think. Like anything else, I'll try to keep you updated. But this is a more important video than just analyzing kind of like some oldish posts and weird sources than they've done in the last few videos, because the channel is supposed to be mainly about analyzing like Majestic 12 and Q posts, which this video is. So I'll see you next time.
Let's go ahead and go over some things with the Keystone or Keybase deal and the Dead Man Switch on Phoenix Enigma site. Alright, so the Dead Man Switch. This was posted by Corey Daniel from the Phoenix Enigma. Now, please go to his website, thephoenixenigma.com. He has a plethora of information in regards to Isaac Kappy. Now, I'm going to keep this quick and read through this real quick. A Dead Man Switch is a piece of or body of information, files, videos, audio recordings, etc., which a person lets known exists but hold back from releasing unless they are harmed or killed. This information is usually entrusted to one or more people who have been advised to release it to the police, media, etc., should they themselves be killed. This was the first mention of a Dead Man Switch. Now, I advise you guys to go to Phoenix Enigma's channel or website, whatever, and click on these links and videos and whatnot, just to kind of reorientate yourself if you can, because when the Kappy investigation begins, we're starting from square one. But obviously we're not going to be like, I don't know anything. We're going to know all of the shit that we know, but we're just going to go over everything again. Let's just put it that way. So let's start again. Since Isaac's death, dozens, if not hundreds of videos have surfaced from researchers and disinformation agents claiming to either have or be Isaac's dead man switch. The simple fact remains, and this is debatable, but I do agree with them. There's a lot of disinformation agents, and I've been accused of it. The Phoenix Enigma's been accused of it. Shark Belly Kelly's been accused of it. I mean, you can go down the list of every Michael Dade, Michael Fisher. You got, I mean, I could go down the list and the names, and I don't want to keep giving people shout outs, but Defango, who now goes by Citizen Zone. You got, who else? I mean, all sorts of people that have been accused of it. So that's going to be our job, kind of. That's why I even invite them. So understand that if I'm inviting you, don't think that means I don't think you might be a disinformation agent or a double agent or a spy of sorts. But at this point, if you're going to be a spy and put in work, go ahead. I'm going to still keep my eye on you. So I'm never going to give you information that's vital, and I'm always going to be cautious around you. So anyway, there has never been a release of information pertaining to anything Isaac Kappy was investigating, child trafficking, pedophilia, etc. following his death, nor did any friends or family come forth with any information of this nature either. Furthermore, the only persons to have claimed to be in possession of Isaac's dead man switch have been discredited as grifters / disinfo agents / lunatics, i.e. Vegan Mikey, Thomas Schulenberger, and Michael Fisher. Well, there you go. I guess, and that's what I was trying to get at. Everybody that I'm inviting into this cartel, a lot of them bump heads like this. So I'm inviting the Phoenix Enigma. I just made a video with Thomas Schulenberger in it. I invite Vegan Mikey to email me at ALLAMERICANCARTELLC at gmail.com. Michael Fisher, he can kiss my ass. He threatened my children, threatened to their whole lives, for the rest of their lives, he threatened them. So go check that video out. I don't understand how anybody could still follow the guy or watch his videos after he threatened 3 little girls aged 12 and under. It's gross. It's gross. He tried, but anyway, I guess he has his reasons and excuses, bygones, but he is not involved or invited to the cartel, I should say. So anyway, the dead man switch and keybase. Early on in this investigation, a few different key codes were floating around and rumored to be the codes to access accounts to where Isaac had hidden his dead man switch. These key codes were the ones Vegan Mikey was in possession of and was attempting to use to extract funds and services in exchange for developing. When the Keybase account that Isaac and others had created was first made public and became known to the researcher community, somewhere around mid-June, I reached out to members of the FamiLam. I discovered here that Brett, Gio, and Greg were the primary architects of this account on the Keybase site. I worked with Brett since he was willing to work with me, and he went through every corner of the account to look for any hidden files, attachments, linked accounts, etc. He reported there was nothing. The site was the same as it had been when all the members migrated over to Telegram. Gio also confirmed this for me a short time later. Since that time, I've asked Brett to go through the Keybase account one more time just to double check, as rumors of information emanating from the Keybase account continue to surface. Brett has done so and maintains that there is no information to be had from that account, and the people saying so are simply disinformation agents and throwing mud in the water at this point. I happen to believe Brett. Now, I don't happen to believe Brett Trimble, but Brett Trimble is still invited. You get it? So we're all going to have not just differing opinions, we're all going to be very suspicious of each other. It's a, what do they call it? A den of thieves. We're as thick as thieves over here. You get it? So I don't know, whatever that means. So let's keep going. Vegan Mikey and the DMS. The story of the dead man switch caught fire due to Vegan Mikey, who stated just after Isaac's death that Isaac had handed him over files of data and research that were to be developed in case of Isaac's death. One of two things happened next. Number one, Vegan Mikey didn't release the information Isaac has entrusted with him, and instead used these key codes and data files to extract money and resources from the FamiLam. as well as a foundation created by a few members of the family. His ploy was that he needed resources in order to develop the Dead Man Switch in conjunction with a man from Langley, whom he could never give the name of. Vegan Mikey maintained that his data information file he had to be hand-delivered to this man in person because the man wanted no electronic signature. Vegan Mikey even asked me to make the trip and hand-deliver it to him. Of course, this never would have happened, as Vegan Mikey never had any files to hand over in the first place. Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? You just state that like you know, but just because he didn't give it to you doesn't mean he doesn't have it. Anyway, Vegan Mikey never had a DMS at this point. I'm firmly in this camp. So he's admitting that he is in two camps here. One, he's saying an absolute, saying he never had these files. And then he's saying he's firmly in this camp, admitting that there's multiple opinions, I guess, at this point. So I don't know. Take it for whatever that's worth. Again, me and Phoenix Enigma have gone rounds. We've threatened to sue each other. I've caught him in lies, and he's actually one of the main suspects, I guess you could say, or agents. But I think we might be wrong. We just might have gotten it wrong with him. Who knows? I think we're all kind of just angry and mad and trying to figure shit out, and you know, we get stuck with a theory in our head and we can't back up out of it. Meanwhile, the main person who shall remain unnamed, who I suspect to be number one killer, everyone's afraid of. No one mentions him. Everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows he's the one who did it, but we all kind of play this game of like, whoa, it could have been we know who did it. Okay, they know who did it. Okay, everybody knows that knows. And if you dig long enough and you just kind of spend a lot of time researching all the people surrounding Isaac Kappy, go through all of his videos, see who he accused, who he threatened, who he said to watch out for. That's all I can give you and I'll tell you for now. But anyway, I caught on to Vegan Mikey's scam early and called him out on it. This is when the investigation turned from Isaac to Mikey for a short period of time in an attempt to find out his connections to all of this. Seeing that he was so wrapped up and this is his writing. The full story of Vegan Mikey's grifting ways is in a separate section of this project dedicated solely to him. So please, like I'm trying to explain to you, I'm coming with the white flag in my hands. Go to Phoenix Enigma's site. He has one of the best, how do I say it? He has one of the best accumulations of data in regards to Isaac Kappy, and he's put it in such a way on a website, neatly and pretty and easily to go through. So please, he's put a lot of work into it. You can't take that away from the man. So go to his channel, donate to him, support him if you can. Let him know an All-American Cartel is beckoning him to email him. Maybe we can do some interviews. Phoenix Enigma is a real reasonable guy, even with me. He still, even after we were arguing, offered for me to go on his show. So maybe now he can go on to my show. The Kappy'S Cartel thing starts February 1st, and he won't be able to be on the first episode. I already have scheduled guests, but you know, we're gonna be doing some big things once I get to February 1st. And by the way, well, I'll get to this at the end anyway. Let's see here. I am convinced beyond any doubt that the red herring of the DMS was pushed harder by Vegan Mikey than anyone else, and for nothing more than an elaborate grift. Vegan Mikey truly is a horrible excuse for a human being. You can see his drug and alcohol-induced ramblings on his Periscope channel where he is sober enough to speak. See, this is all character assassination, and it makes me really curious as to why he's going so hard in the paint against Vegan Mikey. So, like, Vegan Mikey, yeah, he drinks sometimes on his things, but there's sometimes where he's very coherent, and to be honest, I don't think he is what they say. They used to call Kappy a drug, fueled freak and all this stuff, maniac and all this stuff, and you watch his streams, he was calm and peaceful. I don't even think he was high. I don't even think he was on the nicotine. I don't even think he drank caffeine that morning. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the following video is a perfect example of how Michael Whalen attempts to insert himself into any tragedy and profit monetarily from it. Again, when it comes time to put up or shut up, Michael simply attempts to move the carrot. He has no real answers, no real information, no true investment. He is a con man. Now, I do not believe that. So me and Vegan Mikey, we've talked. I've blocked him on Twitter once when I had a Twitter. But we're friendly. We left on friendly terms in a weird way, and we're still friendly. I mean, he knows where I stand. I know where he stands. But I've never accused him of being any of this stuff. And I've even told him to his face, I don't think that you're what they say. So, Vegan Mikey, if you want to join the Cartel clan, I know it's a kind of goofy name, but, you know, just needed something to get the people together in one single spot so we can all just fully just get this over with. Let's just figure this damn thing out. So go to Phoenix Enablement's site to see that video. Anyway, Vegan Mikey attempts to explain why he won't make the DMS public while telling me he'll turn over the DMS. The following conversation is between myself and Michael Whalen, Vegan Mikey. He called me out of the blue while live streaming. I was aware of him live streaming at the time and took the opportunity to allow him to show his true colors to the world once again. Vegan Mikey is so full of rage and greed that he simply can't get out of his own way. The audio is ripped from his live stream broadcast. Again, you will notice here all of VM's attempts to divert, subvert, and muddy the one issue at hand. So that's right there. You just click play there and it'll play it for you. There never was a dead man switch. It is my opinion that there never was a dead man switch. It's obvious to me from the above video, as well as all of my research into the matter, that Isaac simply used those words to explain the actions he took to insulate and protect himself from being a target from Seth and Claire, as he thought they were going to kill him at the time. It's also obvious to me after researching and studying Mikey's history as well as his actions with me and the fam that Mikey simply picked up on the word and carried it forward, incorporating it into his plan to extract money and resources for as long as he possibly could. Now, this is all quite possible and quite plausible and quite probable. So I'm not defending Vegan Mike. I'm not defending you either by a long shot. Okay, we've all seen you drunk live stream. We've all seen some weird things, but I still think you're more. I think there's more in you, bro. I just feel like you're the diamond in the rough in this whole thing. You know what I mean? So please contact me and we can get you involved with this Kappy'S cartel. Anyway, let's see, where was I believe the dead man switch was picked up by multiple people during the fallout of Isaac's death and used for personal gains, not games, and agendas. Because the dead man switch could never be proven, it was a perfect ghost, something which could be pulled out and employed whenever needed and used to disseminate disinformation as needed. Like terrorism, it can be manufactured at will to move forward agendas. Recent dead man switch activity. In mid-September 2019, I was approached by Thomas Schulenberger and asked to publicly run with information that supposedly had come from a cracked key-based file. I was told that there were copious records and information on certain key players whose names have been mentioned at length in the course of this investigation. Let me repeat that, guys. Information on certain key players whose names have been mentioned at length in the course of this investigation. Notice how he doesn't name the person. Now, this is the person we're all talking about. So find out. That's your job, cartel members. That's your job. You want to find out who killed Kappy? How about you find out who's trying to stop the people that are trying to find out who killed Kappy? Anyway. When asked to provide evidence of this, I was provided links to public websites and told that these links were aggregated in this file Dead Man Switch, which had been hidden the whole time in the Keybase account. I stated that for me to run with this information and put it out, I would require personal access to the account and access it for myself and run it through through members of my own team to verify the authenticity of it. Thomas Schulenberger told me that cannot happen, so I did not run with it. This information was then given to another YouTube content creator who ran with it. I wonder who that was. While this information, although not proven to be any dead man switch, certainly triggered known enemies of Isaac's and resulted in a 4.5-hour live YouTube stream wherein this man threatened to sue multiple people for defamation. And there's your author, Corey Daniel. Corey Daniel is a professional certified interpretive guide and writer/researcher who currently lives in the Valley of the Sun. So that's what we got for you guys. Please subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Yeah. Alright guys, this episode's running a little longer than I expected, but I want to thank everybody, and I want to let everybody know somebody donated $100 a couple hours ago. She's going to remain nameless. Oh, I said too much, she shall remain nameless until she emails me. Please, my dear, email me at ALLAMERICANCARTELLC@gmail.com. I appreciate it so much. I want to thank you in 1,000 different ways, and if you just email me and allow me to, I would love it. I have a weird thing about receiving gifts and stuff like that, but I'm very thankful to you. I cannot, I'm not gonna lie, you made me cry. Let's just be honest. I mean, $100 donation to me, you guys are all validating me. I am now, in my opinion, a professional YouTuber, I guess, but in reality, I'm a professional. Okay, it validates me. It gives me the ability to tell people that I make some money on by making my videos, and every artist knows that that's what they like. So, or everybody knows that that's what artists want, is to just be paid a little bit, even just so that way they can call themselves a professional artist, a true artist. Anyway, so there's my Cash App, thing you scan, and the name. The link will be down below. Feel free to check it out. Now I got the GPAY scan thingy-mabobber here. I don't know how to use it all that well, but I'm gonna give you guys options. I'm also gonna set up a Venmo. Now I hate to go through all this stuff. It feels so oh, I got a Venmo set up. I'm sorry. Look at those sexy pectorals right there, right? So I'm done with this part, at least. Let's move on to some words of encouragement from Isaac Kappy, and that is: do you want to live in a world of peace, prosperity, and abundance? A world where the human spirit tackles the challenge of the cosmos? Or do you want to live in a world where violent pedophiles use us, abuse us, rape, and kill our children? Now, we know this to be true. We know that it's all for blackmail, and some for fun and sport and game, and some just to satisfy sick, sadistic needs. But we're fighting it, and you guys are helping me fight it by exposing the truth. So please donate what you can, if you can donate, or just simply like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, and comment below. And I'm going to leave you guys with a good night, and as always, to God be the glory.